I'm fine.
Okay.
One mic in the frame.
What am I doing?
What did you say?
I only like having one mic in the frame.
I didn't even know that one.
Also.
Could I just have everybody leave during the interview? Is that okay?
Yeah,
we
cell
know
phones
you
are
can
off,
do it
right?
by yourself.
Yeah, so, okay.
Okay. Greg was just talking about you as the Persian Woody Allen.
Are we starting?
Yeah,
Are we on?
yeah.
Okay.
What do you think about that description, Persian Woody Allen?
Sure.
Okay. Talk about maybe your relationship with Greg and how you guys began your collaboration many years ago.
Well, I saw a film that Greg did at film school. I didn't like Greg when I first met him. And then I saw this film he made, and I was just blown away, and I was like, that guy. I like that guy. And I just said, I want to talk to you. And I just said, I love your film. I love you. Let's be friends. And we've been friends.
How did A Little Stiff come around?
I was writing the script that was about vivisection, which I'm against. And I took some acid one day. And while on acid, I had this revelation that everything in the world is infinitely beautiful. And you don't have to like try to find things that are inherently dramatic to make films about. You can make films about anything. It's just a question of you having the wherewithal to see what's incredible about that thing. So I decided to make a film that was sort of inherently undramatic, which would be just like, I just thought, okay, what's the most recent just thing that happened to me? That's just a real thing, not a made-up thing. And it was, I sort of had this crush on this art student at UCLA. And so I thought, I'll just make a film about this, because it's just simple, everybody can relate to it, not a big deal, but everybody can relate to it. And just trust that reality had its own infinitude. And so I said to Greg, let's just do this. And he was totally on the same wavelength. So we just got the people who had been involved to reenact themselves, and we just shot it.
And it's kind of similar the way A Sign from God came around. Can you just talk about that as well, the origin of the project?
Yeah, well, I was in a really bad marriage, and I was calling Greg all the time for solace, and he would just laugh and say, we should make a film about this stuff that's going on. And I just said, you know, we're not going to get money to make a film about this. And he said, he'd get the money. And I was like, okay, great, you get the money, I'll do it. And one day he called me and said, I got the money. Come on up. So I went up and we shot it.
I think it's kind of really brave, actually, to do two films that are extremely autobiographical. How does it feel for you to be putting yourself out there on film?
It feels good.
Why does it feel good?
It feels honest. Like, I hate hiding anything from anybody. Like the other day we were in this car with Michelle Sider from the Sundance Institute, and they produced this film that I didn't like very much. And I just had to tell her that, because it felt weird, like having this thought that I was sort of hiding. And after I told her, I just felt better.
And what was her reaction when you told her?
She was very cool about it. She didn't like it either.
One of the scenes, there are many scenes that I love in this movie, but one of them that I think is great is your pitch scene. And apparently that's based on a real situation. Can you talk about that pitch scene? And
Yeah, it was after me and Greg did A Little Stiff, and we were like hot for like about a month. And in that little 1 month window of being kind of hot, we had a pitch session at American Playhouse. And they just, asked us what ideas we had, and I remember pitching like all these ideas, and everything seemed absurd to them. I could tell, but they all seemed great to me. So we just tried to reenact that, and I just kind of updated my ideas to like more recent ones.
can you give some examples? Because they were so funny, like some of them that were on the screen.
The ones that are in the movie, or the ones that were
in the movie?
Oh, okay. Well, do you want me to just redo the pitch?
Sure.
Well, I used to have this friend who had a brother who had cerebral palsy, and she told me the story about how he fell in love with this woman who was retarded, and her parents didn't think that he was good enough for her because he had cerebral palsy, but her parents didn't think that she was good enough for him because she was retarded, so they tried to keep them apart, and that it would be like this Romeo and Juliet kind of thing, but she would have cerebral palsy and he'd be retarded. That was one of them.
How about I'm a Sex Addict? Talk about I'm a Sex Addict.
That's a real one. and that's actually our next film. And I used to have this addiction to prostitutes, and I've been trying. I wrote a script about it, and it's all real stuff, and it's like how it started and how it got out of control and how I kind of got a handle on it. And I don't do it anymore. So it's just a film about that. And for a long time, I was trying to like reenact it and have real sex in it and really be it. I was going to do this reality thing, and I just could not get anyone to give us money for it. And actually, we're going to do a slightly different version on it. I'm not going to act in it anymore. I've gotten too old to play that part because it was really like something that I was doing in my mid-20s. So that's our next film, but that's one of the pitches and it does really badly in the movie.
And I love Adolf Hitler.
Oh yeah, I had this idea. I was into Alice Miller for a while. She wrote this book about how all these people had been abused, in childhood and about abuse, and one was about Hitler. And I was, again, a drug experience once on mushrooms. I had this experience where I felt this incredible love for Hitler because I sort of understood him as like this really, really hurt person and who had really, really suffered, and like all of his craziness was like the expression of this rage. And I remember that title came to me on mushrooms, and I was like crying and thinking, oh, you poor guy. You must have been so hurt, and I like felt it. And I felt like if I could embrace the Hitler within, that would like heal a big thing in the world. And if I could make a film that would show Hitler in that way, it would really do a lot to get rid of the whole polarity of good and evil, and it'd be a really like healing movie. And I just thought that, what better person to try to redeem as a human being and not as a monster than Hitler. So in the film, I try to push this idea of a film called I Love Adolf Hitler, and it doesn't go over well.
Now, Greg was talking about how he wrote the screenplay, but it was really like an outline.
Mm-hmm.
Do you prefer to work in improvisation, and why is that?
Well, just me and Greg, did a lot of theater classes at UCLA, and I really respect actors a lot, but our experience was always, we're not like greatly trained actors, just that it was always just more real when the word would just pop out of you, spontaneously, and not when you were trying to like say a line that you knew you had to say. And we just had better performances when we could get that spontaneity. So it's only for that. It's for realism. It's for naturalism. And for example, I'm going to do it again. It's just for that spontaneity. It's for realism. It's for naturalism. One more time. It's just for that spontaneity. It's for realism. It's for naturalism. Those were all pretty good, actually. But I think the first one was the best.
You got the script down.
Yeah.
For someone who hasn't seen A Sign from God,
Uh-huh.
describe it. Like, explain what the plot's about.
It's a really hard film to describe. One of the things that we try to do, actually, is narrative is a beautiful thing, but I feel like the essence of cinema is actually not a narrative essence. It's a documentary essence. That there's something about the photographic reproduction of reality that it is irreducible, and a narrative has a reducibility that cinema doesn't have. And I feel like narrative is often fighting the infinite irreducibility of the photographic image. And I feel like most Hollywood films are like these stories that are just photographed. But the essence of cinema is actually the way the eyes of a person glitter with a certain expression, which you cannot capture in literature. But literature is so great at telling stories, but film is great at showing how this person looked on their face on this day with their wrinkles and their fears and their whole human history. And I feel like we're trying to capture those things in the film, and that's why so much of it is like real stuff that we try to bring in as much as possible. And you need the narrative stuff too, and you need structure, you need shape, you need all kinds of stuff to keep people with you and understanding it. But there's something that the film has which other films tend to sort of eschew, which is just this unspeakable, irreducible element that you just have to see the film to really get. You can't really describe it and do any kind of justice to what it is about, because it's not about what words are about, really. It's really about, it's not about plot. It's really about just the imprinted fact of the thing on the film, and it's just time and space is captured.
Can you talk about the ideas of fatalism versus pragmatism in the movie?
Yeah, I hate the word fatalism because it sounds negative. I mean, it's faith, it's belief, and it's it's a New Age idea, but it also goes way back to scholasticism in the Middle Ages, and it goes back to Leibniz, as the best of all possible worlds. And I just feel as a human being, that either nothing has any meaning or everything does. I just think that's true. If nothing has any meaning, then you're always in this mode of like, fuck, I missed the 2 o'clock screening, And like today we have this photo shoot at 2, and we have a screening at 2. And I could be like, damn it, and I could spend my life going, damn it at life. Or I could go, holy blessed life that it is this. And for me, like, it's not fatalistic at all. It's just acceptance and embrace of what is. And you have no choice but what is. And if what is what is, you can embrace it, or you can say, I don't like this. I'm not gonna I'm gonna just like I'm gonna be in a bad mood and sullen about what's happening to me. But what's happening to you is all that is. And you really have that seems to me the only choice you have is to say, this is beautiful, or this is unfortunate. And why say this is unfortunate? Because it's not going to change anything except that you can be in bliss or you can be in hell. And I've been in hell most of my life, and I'm just trying to move towards bliss. So I believe in this really strongly, and that's what the character in the film is advocating. And of course, it's not the only way that people see things. I think the other way is actually more prevalent in our atheistic, materialistic society. So that's what the film is about. It's about these different ways of looking at this reality.
So you think your girlfriend in the film is sort of representative of what most people are like in society?
Yeah. Yeah, shall we call it an atheist, materialist, fear-based, sort of evolutionist, scientific-ish kind of thing where it's all about induction and not, surrender.
You edited this film also. Can you talk about the editing process? And I imagine it must have been difficult to sort of, you're watching yourself on film and you're editing it. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's really hard. I usually just get people's input.
Does the film, are you happy with how it turned out? I mean, is there a lot of different ways that you went about it until you finally came up with this particular narrative?
Yeah, it took a long time, and we did a lot of reshoots. But at a certain point, it's like, this is the reality of what occurred and what it is. And, we're out of money, we're out of time, this is the movie, and again, you embrace it, or you can critique it. And, while you're editing it, you're critiquing it because you want to make it as good as possible. But at a certain point, you just embrace it. And now I'm just in embrace mode, and I just love it. And it's flawed. I mean, it's flawed the way human beings are flawed. But my girlfriend is flawed, and I love my girlfriend. And her flaws are part of what I love about her. And, I sort of felt that way about the film, too. It's just lovable to me like a person.
How do you feel about the upcoming screening of the film? Are you nervous? Are you looking forward to it?
I'm a little nervous, and I'm looking forward to it.
What do you think the reaction will be?
I think it'll be wildly enthusiastic. No, I'm kidding. But, some people are going to love and some people aren't going to. And it's just like with anybody. I mean, some people don't like me, and it kills me, but it's just true. Like, I don't know, they don't like my energy. We're not on the same wavelength. And it's not for everybody. It's just, but some people are going to really love it. And some people, have seen it and have loved it. And some people haven't. And, I don't know what the numbers are going to be. I just know that there are people out there who will love it. And that they're the ones who are supposed to see it. And to those who aren't supposed to see it, I guess they're supposed to see it too.
What do you think it'll do for the film to be in competition here? What do you hope it'll do for the film?
Well, it's not in competition. It's in the American Spectrum.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
I
okay.
apologize.
But it's just going to make it way more like it's like a pedigree kind of thing. Like, it gives people oh, this must be good kind of attitude when they look at it. It's kind of like if you go to an art museum and you look at modern art, if you've heard that this is really great, you look at it with a certain generosity and you give it the benefit of the doubt. But if you just go to some kind of garage sale and you see modern art, you're prove it to me, and you kind of come with this kind of attitude of not giving it the benefit of the doubt. So I just think that it gives people the generosity to give it the benefit of the doubt and to trust that maybe there's something going on here that they need to sort of open themselves to and they can learn from, as opposed to, we know everything about everything already and this doesn't sort of fit into what we know, therefore it's not, it's sub rather than over.
And you were here in '91, right? What's the difference in the festival between '91 and now?
It's gotten huger and way more stimulating and way more people and more commercial. But the whole climate has too.
Can you do an ID for Sundance Channel?
What's an ID?
Which would be looking to the camera, introducing yourself, mentioning the name of the film,
Uh-huh.
and you're watching Sundance Channel.
Okay. Now?
Sure.
Hi, I'm Kaveh Zahedi. I'm the actor in the film A Sign from God, and you're watching the Sundance Channel. Can I do it again?
Sure.
Hi, I'm Kaveh Zahedi. I'm an actor in the film A Sign from God, and you're watching the Sundance Channel.
Cool.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Thanks.
We're done?
Yep.
Get the mic okay. Good idea.
Yeah. There we go. Thanks, man.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.